welcome. And welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. If you're here, you may be a 2-5 profile, Hermit, Heretic, double H, H squared. Sorry, that's where my mind goes. I hope that it's not annoying. I have my windows open because it's raining outside, and of course people are still like driving, existing also. So anyway, I hope it's not too loud. So you could be a 2-5 profile. My dog is also chewing on his bone, because I have to pick the most perfect time to actually do readings. So you could be a 2-5 profile for the third time, or you might just be curious and you have no idea what your profile is. If you don't, there is a link below in the description to get your body graph. Looks a little something like this. You'll need the same information that you need for your natal chart. So your birthday, of course, the location, and the time. Now, human design is a bit more sensitive when it comes to birth time, because there are certain aspects of your chart that could change based on the time that you were born. It could or not. Honestly, it can go either way. So if you don't know the exact time, maybe you have an intuition that you were born during a certain time of day. Maybe you've been told throughout your life that you were born in the morning, afternoon, evening, overnight. You can use a time that correlates to that time of day. Or, you can certainly use noon. Just know there may be some aspects that change. Now, like for me, it didn't matter what time I was born. On the day that I was born, I was going to be a manifesting generator 5-1 profile. But my dad, for instance, his type changes based on the time of day. I can't remember if his profile does. But anyway, so you can play around with it too, like just kind of put in different times if you want to. But for the purposes of these readings, we are going to be using your profile. Now, you would get something that looks a little something like this without all of the notes, of course. You'll have your type, your definition, your strategy, your profile, inner authority, not self-theme, and your incarnation cross. So, look up your profile there. Certainly not the most important aspect, but I think one of the cool things about human design is that everything works in conjunction with the other. Your strategy and authority is also very important because it helps you navigate through experiences. So it helps you determine what experiences you should enter into, what experiences that maybe you shouldn't. There's not necessarily a right or wrong, but, honestly, any help in this life is, just beneficial. And the reason why I'm using the profile is because for me personally, when I started diving into my human design, reading my profile, just blew my mind. Literally, I was dropping tears. Because it was the first time I felt like I had ever been seen, and my experience felt validated and all of the things. So that's kind of why I chose to go in that direction. So with all of that being said, the last 2 videos, if you have watched them, if you haven't, that's okay. But we read from the Definitive Book of Human Design. I don't know if you can see the title, The Definitive Book of Human Design. And I read the the background already. I read the personal the last time. And this time we're going to read this final section here, the interpersonal. And then, of course, we'll get onto the tarot message. So it says, hermit heretics that act according to their true nature are going to have chances in life, especially if they are well educated in something they naturally do well and can handle the projection field. They have the potential of being both called and calling others, and will enjoy the fruits of the positive projections that result from their ability to bring a practical solution to the collective. The 2-5 can be deeply creative in the way... Sorry. My dog was reverse sneezing. Sorry about that. The 2-5 can be deeply creative in the way in which it establishes a persona in the world, and it excels in its own self-marketing. When the majority is in crisis and the 2-5 receives its call, it can transform and begin to call others to a new principle. 2-5s are naturally withdrawn, a valuable strategy for them, as this withdrawal always brings others into their life to call them out. In this way, the 2-5 is also generally assured, initially at least, of meeting a positive projection. They struggle to maintain their innocence in life as the projections pile up, however, and they cannot self-motivate out of desire. They are heretics who bring change and challenge what is already there. If the challenge is practical, then their heresy will triumph and continue to triumph until it is no longer heresy. Heresy? It's not hearsay, like objection hearsay. Hearsay? Oh my gosh. Hermit heretic children need respect for their boundaries, and they should not be forced to do something they do not want to do. They can be the most wonderful babies ever, but if they have a bad day, their reputation, even at a young age, can suffer. Once they are knocked off the pedestal, they can stay off of it for quite a while or for life. Their need for alone time must be respected, as they feel very deeply the projections of their parents and others who in some way expect them to be faster or smarter or good at this or that. If their needs are not respected, both the hermit and the heretic will rebel. As long as 2-5s are following their strategy and authority when called into career or relationship, there is tremendous potential for successfully universalizing something and fulfilling their purpose. Very cool. Does that sound like you? Does that sound like your childhood at all? Okay, well, that's cool. Take that. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't ready yet, but I'm just thinking, I'm kind of like letting all of that soak in, you know, because it's interesting. The 2-5s have, and I guess the 5-2s have that double projection field. You know, the second lines have that projection field of, you know, people calling them out based on their gifts. Like, you kind of quote unquote need other people to do that for you, because, you know, that hermit line, like, you have a hard time seeing it yourself, which, you know, is really kind of innocent almost in a way. Like, it's hard to corrupt you guys. So, you know, you kind of need like other people to recognize your gifts, because for you, right, like, it just kind of comes naturally. You're like, this is what I do. What are you talking about? And other people are like, yeah. A lot of people don't, it doesn't just come naturally for other people. But then you have that 5th line projection where, you know, there's this like practical need, like people, you know, kind of look to you for practical solutions. And if you don't deliver on that, you know, that 5th line has a reputation thing going on with it too, where if you don't kind of deliver on that projection, then it can hinder your reputation. And maybe you have like a thing about reputation. I've discovered that I do. you know, like I'm a 5'1", so, you know, I have that fifth line. But I've definitely noticed more, you know, like by being more self-aware, even just looking into this human design business, that I do have a thing about reputation. And I want to be sure that, you know, my reputation isn't affected. But also, I know we're coming up to the end of shuffling these here. I know I'm just kind of blabbering in your ear. We're going to do a 6-card spread. So we're getting there. But also, you know, of course, that alone time, it's like you want to like kind of get in, do your shit, right? And then get out until it happens again. You know, then you kind of go back into your hermit cave, regroup, right? That need for alone time. Maybe you're just kind of like diving into the things that interest you, right? And then, you know, kind of getting that call. And also, you know, that piece in there about being able to call other people, like, you know, almost kind of being able to empower or uplift other people. Very interesting. So we're looking for a message for our Hermit Heretics, the 2-5 profiles. Just a couple more here. There we go. That was it. Let's see. That's quite the way to start. The Magician. The Knight of Pentacles. The 8 of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles. And Queen of Cups. And then we have Death at the bottom of the deck. Okay. I hope that's straight. So, of course, we'll just go through each card here. Talk about it, right? And we start with the Magician, which is a beautiful effing way to start anything. But since this is the first card, this would say that you have been in this energy of manifesting something, like really working with the energies here. I mean, you know, we see this figure sitting there, you know, clearly, you know, kind of manipulating these energies here. You know, there's this spiral or like this swirl down here. I love that there's, you know, this connection to earth here. Like, you know, the hand is on the ground, the other hand is working with these energies. Oh my gosh, can you hear all those birds outside? So the Magician, you know, is the card that comes after, right after the Fool card. So the Fool is the beginning, right? It's like making that decision to take a leap of faith. And then it's like after you take that leap, it's like, okay, now what the hell? Like, what do I do now? Right? But it's also like, okay, now that I've, you know, kind of committed to doing this thing, now it's figuring out, how do I bring this thing into existence? Like, how do I bring it to life? And that's the Magician. The Magician, you know, recognizes that I have these skills, I have these experiences, I have the knowledge of these things, because, you know, the Magician has all of the suits at their beck and call. And if they don't, they know how to get it, or they know people that do have it. Sorry. I don't know if that just bounced around. So this is at, you know, kind of beginning stages of, you know, plotting and planning. And it could have to do with how you want to spend your time, how you want to make money, how, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Pentacles have to do with our time, money, our physical body. And when we talk about the Queen and queens in general, I see the queens as us embodying the energy. It's like we understand how to work with the energy of this suit, right? Because it's kind of like we have to understand it ourselves in order to be able to share it with other people. And that's when we get to the King. Let me just take a looky. Yeah, and you would have a right angle cross. Sorry. You would have a right angle cross of something. So you would need to, the right angle crosses for your incarnation cross. Excuse me. Your incarnation cross would say something like, here, right angle cross of something. So with the right angle crosses, it's like you have to understand it within yourself first before you'll either recognize it in other people or before you can even kind of, like I said, share with other people and help them understand the thing. So this Queen of Pentacles would be saying that you are going to be understanding, like I said, how you want to make your money, how you want to spend it, how you want to save it, invest it. It could be changing a lifestyle as far as, like having to do with your health, like your physical health. But also the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing. There's, kind of a mama bear energy that comes with the Queen of Pentacles. We're not necessarily going to get into that specific energy, but this could be family planning. But I also love how this Queen of Pentacles is so relaxed. There's this level of contentment here, like eyes are closed, lightly gripping onto this pentacle, right? It's like, you have it and you don't even have to worry about it. You're not holding on to it like you are in this Four of Pentacles here. Okay, I wanted to write that down. Sorry, is this like bouncing all over the place? Sorry. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's interesting that 3 of the cards out here are Pentacles. So definitely a focus on that energy. So then we have the Knight of Pentacles here. And, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight out of all of the knights. But it's because it deals with the 3D world, right? Like it deals with the physical, tangible, monetary world. And we have to understand that in that time, like in the 3D time, it takes a little bit of time for things to actualize. It takes time for seeds to sprout and get to a point where you can harvest them. But with this knight, there is this level of determination and commitment. It's really seeing the thing through. Because you also know that it is either like a good idea, it's a good business decision, it's a good decision for your relationship even, you know, if it does have to do with your body, like your physical health, clearly, right? Because we need our bodies and we need our health. So it's understanding that, you know, the fruits of that labor, the dedication and the commitment, it is going to pay off in dividends, right? Because it's not like just one seed is sprouting here. All of these are, some bigger than others, right? But, and it's like, just, you know, you're walking through your, I want to say your baby, but like, you know, like the thing that like you've spent so much time building and growing, and, you know, so it's like finally seeing the fruits of those labors pay off. You want to put your feet on the ground and walk through it, right? You don't want to be up on a horse doing that. You want to put your energy into it, and you want to feel the energy of the thing. So really kind of, you know, like getting your hands in the mix even. I mean, you could be doing something that involves your hands. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which again, you know, like the Four of Pentacles talks about holding on a bit too tight. There's a little bit of fear, a little bit of lack, scarcity that kind of goes into this Four of Pentacles also. But it's also like this energy of just hold on, right? Like, don't give up on the thing, whatever the thing is, don't give up on it. Like if it is, because both of these cards are kind of like stagnant or like stationary, you know, like it's not fast moving. They are both energies to move through. You know, you would go from the Knight to the Queen. But with this combination here, you know, it's saying commit yourself to it and don't give up. Like, you know, if it's not going as fast as you want it to, just remind yourself that we're in a dimension where time moves slow as shit. And it takes time for, you know, businesses to actualize, ideas to actualize, products to monetize, right? Like all of those things require time, but also commitment and dedication. Because when we move over here, we have the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is communication coming in. You know, we can see just by the imagery on this card, like it's fast, you know, it's like everything coming together at one time and causing this, you know, like burst of energy. Wands have to do with action, communication. I see them as being the information cards also. So it's like, you know, information could be coming in. Again, you know, like some sort of communication that maybe you have been waiting for some time on. You know, if this is something that has been, you know, kind of slow moving or slowly building, it's like all of a sudden the Eight of Wands happens and it's like, boom, you know, like you're busy all of the effing time. You have no social life, no, you know, but it's also like, this is what you've been working towards, right? And of course it's a passion. So you're like, hell yeah, I'm more than happy to do this. And then we have the Queen of Cups down here, and cups having to do with our emotions. Again, with the Queen, right? There's this level of surrender that comes with her also. And I love how both of the queens that have been out here so far, both of their eyes are closed. Actually, all three of these cards down here, their eyes are closed. So there could be, you know, just something that's coming that like you don't even see. Like and that could be this death card here. You know, I mean, this card talks about death and rebirth. I mean, that's generally what the death card talks about, and we'll get to it. But like I said, you know, there is this level of surrender here. Like, be almost like, you know, allow yourself to kind of float as much as you can. Like, go with the flow. There's an empathy and compassion element that comes with the Queen of Cups also. But again, since it's a queen, it's those emotions that we are giving to ourselves. We understand compassion and grace and empathy. And we're able to give those things to ourselves first before we're able to actually give them to other people. And I love too how, you know, we have this magician here. And even, you know, again, like this could be something that you have been working on getting together for some time, with these two cards being next to each other. And it's like all of a sudden everything is going to come together. And or you're going to be contacted by the right people. You're going to contact the right people. Like, it's just like, you know, things come together. And this energy is just like, really be grounded through your root and your heart space here. Your root and your heart chakras here. And, you know, like with this row, without kind of speaking to, you know, these two cards together, this would say, you know, that you know, don't hold on to this thing, whatever this is. It's like the thing that's maybe even blocking some sort of energy from coming in. You know, she's sitting out, they are sitting out here where there is this town. So, you know, I mean, this could even be feeling a bit like an outcast, or maybe like people just don't get it. Because she's almost kind of protecting this, right? Like, it's not necessarily like fear, but it is almost really just kind of protecting your property. Like, even if it's your intellectual property, and maybe there you need to maybe look into that a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how that specifically works. Like, you know, on some platforms, as soon as you put something out there, and if it's unique to you, like, you know, this video, for instance, it's like I have an automatic copyright to it. But that may be different for different things. So, you know, that might be something to look into. This may even be that you've outgrown, because, you know, with these two queens showing up here, this would signify that you have reached basically kind of a new level here within yourself. There's some sort of growth that's been, it's like noticeable now. Like, it's like you're noticing it within yourself, but you're also maybe trying to hold on to like an old job, an old relationship, like either out of obligation, loyalty, whatever, trying to maybe even drag them up to your level, like, come on, you know, come up here, right? You know, like, so that could even be what's going on, because like I said, we have the Death card here. So there is a cycle ending. But with the Death card, it talks about rebirth. So it's not so much like, you know, it has to end so that this new thing can begin. There's that saying that beginnings disguise themselves as endings, because sometimes, right, like we have to stop doing something in order to start doing something new. And if there is this level of, you know, kind of growth and maturity, however that is for you, then, you know, there are going to be some things that no longer serve you. This is a card of Scorpio. Also, there could be a Scorpio in your life. We have the Emperor behind that. That could be an Aries. But, you know, the Emperor here in this depiction, he's holding a chess piece, sitting on a chessboard. I don't know if that's like the moon that he's sitting on, or... oh, it actually could be Mars. Duh. It's red. Oh my gosh, Liz. Don't tell anybody. Okay. But, you know, like the Emperor talks about authority. Also, you know, it's the divine masculine, but, you know, it's the energy, not the gender. So this could be, you know, initiating, going for something like this Eight of Wands. Almost, you know, like allowing yourself to be in the spotlight. There's like a confidence that comes with the Emperor also. And this is, you know, right on the other side of the Death card. So if you've been being a bit timid, maybe, or maybe a little too humble, the Emperor is like, no, you know, that's all great and everything. There's a time and place for that, but we need people to know that we are the authority on this thing. I did this shit, right? Beautiful. I'm gonna leave it there. And thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.